Call to order the Gurnee Village Board regular meeting of April 20th, 2026. Roll call, please.
Balmas.
Present.
Thorstensen.
Here.
Woodside.
Present.
Ross.
Here.
Garner. Here. O'Brien.
Present.
6 present.
Will all stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everybody. So we start our village board meetings with public comment. These are public comments for items that are on the agenda. And if anybody would like to make a comment about an item that's on the agenda, you may step to the microphone. But before I do that, I would open it up to the trustees. I know that Trustee Woodside spoke to me about wanting to make a comment during the public comment prior to the meeting. Is that right?
That is right.
All right, Trustee Woodside.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't want to take away Matt's thunder as he does the presentation this evening on the Gurnee Cares grants, but I would like to offer some context. I think it deserves that. Gurnee has been extraordinarily careful with the public's money and extraordinarily generous with what that caution has made possible. We've not levied a property tax since the year 2000. We have the lowest water rates in Lake County that are discounted even further for our seniors. We're able to leverage the strength of our business community to provide grocery tax relief when a vast majority pass the cost on directly. We've invested in roads, infrastructure, and public safety without asking residents to carry that burden. These have been the result of deliberate, disciplined governance and investment in a business community that generates the revenue that makes all that possible. We've invested in it smartly and seen real returns through incentives that attract the best in retail, dining, and entertainment, through the Small Business Capital Investment Grant Program, which has reached 56 smaller independent businesses and leveraged more than 5 times of the village's investment in return. But those benefits, the tax relief, the water rates, the business incentives and grants, they flow to residents defined by what they own or operate. Homeowners, business owners, tax owners in the traditional sense. And that is right and appropriate. That is the core of what local government does. But what's happening here tonight can build on that and represent something we have not done before. There are Gurnee residents who will never benefit from a property tax exemption because they don't own property. They will never apply for a business grant because they are not in a position to build a business. Nonetheless, they live here, belong here, but often go unseen. For too long, and this is true not just in Gurnee but nearly everywhere, local government has simply looked past them, not out of malice, but because the basic tools of local government were not built with them in mind. Tonight, this board has an opportunity to lead in a way that there is tragically little precedence for, to use public dollars to directly support the nonprofit organizations on the front lines of serving a population in our community that too often goes unseen. I hope you will watch the presentation tonight with that in mind. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Is there anybody else on the board that would like to make a comment about any item on the agenda?
Well, then I will too.
Trustee Baum.
I appreciate certainly what Trustee Woodside said, and I certainly appreciate the efforts that have been put on by the commission, but I also think it's starting a precedent that should not be part of the village responsibility, as responsibility of the village is to take care of the village property and to help all the citizens and to create a qualified community. And I truly believe that this money is designated for the village proper and should only be used for the streets, public works, and various parts of the community, and I think this starts a precedent that could go askew. And so I am not for this use of the money, though I certainly appreciate what some residents are going through. It's just not appropriate use of village funds. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee. Anybody else that have any other comments about items on the agenda? There being none, is there anybody in the audience that would care to make a comment about an item on the agenda? All right, floor is closed. On to the consent agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Balmas, second by trustee O'Brien. Roll call, please.
Balmas.
Aye.
Thorstenson.
Aye.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
6 ayes.
Motion carries. Pat?
Item number 1, approval of the minutes from the April 6, 2026 public hearings and village board meeting. Item number 2, approval of ordinance 2026-24, approving a drainage easement agreement which grants a drainage easement to the village of Gurnee on 3598 Cheyenne Road property, PIN number 0712407006. Item number 3, approval of Public Works Department request to renew CityWorks asset management and work order tracking software contract and enterprise license agreement for a period of 1 year at a cost of $51,250. And number 4, approval of Administration Department request to award the Village Hall foyer glass replacement project to the low proposer, Illinois Contract Glazing, Inc., at a cost not to exceed $31,000. And number 5, approval request for Information Systems Division GIS Analyst Sean Diate to attend the 2026 Esri User Conference from July 13th through the 27th, 2026 in San Diego, California, at a cost not to exceed $3,000. At number 6, approval of Police Department request to dispose of certain documents as authorized by the State of Illinois Local Records Commission. At number 7, approval of annual performance bonus of 10% for the village administrator. At number 8, approval of payroll for period ending April 3rd, 2026, in the amount of $1,028,906.05. And number 9, approval of bills for period ending April 20th, 2026, in the amount of $2,791,351.91.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Garner, second by trustee Thorstenson. Roll call, please.
Balmas.
Aye.
Thorstenson.
Aye.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
6 ayes.
Motion carries. On to petitions and communications. Item number 1, approval of a proclamation designating April 24, 2026 as Arbor Day in the village of Gurnee. Every April, Arbor Day is celebrated nationally as a call to action for people to take care of trees and promote their growth. It acknowledges the importance of trees in the ecosystem and the role they play in providing clean air, water, and habitat for wildlife. This day also encourages people to plant and maintain trees, as the village planted 188 trees and trimmed 2,449 trees during this past year. Finally, it highlights the responsibility of every citizen to protect and preserve the natural environment for our future generations. Therefore, I, Thomas Hood, Mayor of Gurnee, do hereby proclaim April 24 to be Arbor Day in the village of Gurnee, and hereby urge all citizens to celebrate and support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion by
Garner.
trustee Garner, second by trustee O'Brien. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
On to the second proclamation. Approval of a proclamation honoring Visit Lake County President Maureen Reedy.
Mayor, could I say something before you start?
You can certainly do that. You want to read the proclamation? No? Okay.
I
Go
just,
ahead, Cheryl.
I just want to say that Maureen has been there for 22 years, and I've worked with her for 19 of those years, and she's done an excellent job and a good friend, and I'm going to miss her.
That's for sure. She's really helped Gurnee out immensely in terms of her representation of the whole of Lake County, but it certainly has helped us out individually, so that's for sure true. So the proclamation says, whereas Maureen Reedy concludes an extraordinary 22-year tenure as president of Visit Lake County, the certified destination marketing organization for Lake County, Illinois, And whereas through her visionary leadership, Maureen has elevated the role of Visit Lake County to become a driving force in advancing the region's tourism economy. And whereas the Lake County consistently ranks as the third largest tourism economy in the state of Illinois, surpassed only by Cook County and DuPage County, and has attracted record-breaking expansion of visitor spending to nearly $2 billion a year. Whereas Visit Lake County has earned consistent recognition at both state and national levels for quality, effectiveness, and reach of its innovative marketing campaigns, elevating Lake County profile as a premier destination, Maureen is highly respected by her peers in the state and is acknowledged as a faithful leader. And whereas Maureen and her team have exemplified the true power of partnerships, strengthening a vibrant network of communities, businesses, large and small, educational institutions, hotels, retailers, and attractions that together create exceptional visitor experiences and sustain local economic vitality. Maureen maintains a first-name relationship with local officials, state officials, and stakeholders by attending numerous board meetings and gatherings. She listens with intention and has a great memory. Maureen has been a tireless advocate for the principle that tourism is economic development, championing Visit Lake County as a central hub that connects and supports the many partners and stakeholders who contribute to the region's success. She has kept the organization on the leading edge by employing innovative marketing strategies and staying up to date on industry trends. Her legacy is reflected not only in measurable economic achievements, but also in enduring relationships, collaborative spirit, and shared vision she has cultivated through Lake County. Be it proclaimed that the Village of Gurnee hereby honors and celebrates Maureen Reedy on the occasion of her retirement, recognizing her remarkable leadership, her transformative contribution to tourism and economic development, and her lasting impact on Lake County, Illinois. Be it further proclaimed that we extend our deepest gratitude to Maureen Reedy for her 22 years of dedicated service and wish her continued success, fulfillment, and happy travels in the years ahead. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Ross,
Second.
second by Trustee Garner. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Now for why many of us are here tonight. So even before I start reading this, I'd say for Trustee Jeannie Balmas, a proclamation to read, but I just would say from my heart that 24 years on this board, many of us have not seen some of the things that she's had to go through many of the boards that maybe weren't quite as simple or easy as this might have been. And I just really appreciate that she's been able to keep a level head, that she stands, even tonight, she stands at her convictions, regardless of how they may appear. And that's something I highly value, someone that's willing to speak their mind, even though it's sometimes tough to do that, especially in the world today, that it's usually easier to go with the flow than to go against the flow. And Jeannie's not known for being a person to go with the flow, are you, Jeannie? So, and we're better for it. We're better for it as a board. We're better for it as a village. And she has been an excellent person to be able to rely upon. And frankly, the loss of institutional knowledge that will come because she leaves the board is unmatched. So we're really sorry to see her go, but also recognize that at some time we all have to retire. And she's retiring, and we just will miss her a great deal. So I'll read the proclamation that'll call out some of the many things that she's done for all of us, but it's frankly more of a heart thing. It's, and a lot of things people can do stuff, but at the end of the day, it's heart relationship. And that's really what Jeannie has. She brings heart and relationship. So thank you, Jeannie, for all that you've done. So, whereas public service is a noble calling that strengthens the fabric of a community and enriches the lives of its residents, it requires an open mind, diplomatic approach, dedication, thick skin. No, put thick skin in there. I didn't write this, so I'm as I go through this, maybe Jeannie added that, I don't know. And many times it's a thankless job. Jeannie wrote that.
I never said.
Yeah. Whereas Jeannie Balma stands as an embodiment of public service, steadfast in purpose, guided by integrity, and committed to the common good. During her tenure, she has demonstrated that leadership is less about recognition and more about responsibility, listening with intention and making decisions that balance immediate needs with long-term impact. On her retirement, the Village of Gurnee wishes to recognize one of its most dedicated and distinguished citizens. Jeannie is a lifelong Lake County resident with deep ties in North Chicago and Gurnee. She contributed to the growth and success of these communities through her commitment as a citizen, a business owner, volunteers, elected official, friend to many, right? She has some of her friends here today. Jeannie was a member of the Gurnee Days Corporation, where she served as president and also treasurer for many years. Her accounting and financial wherewithal were greatly appreciated. She also was a member and past president of the Gurnee Breakfast Exchange Club and continued in exchange for many years after the clubs combined. She was active in other community organizations, including the Gurnee Chamber of Commerce, the Gurnee Women's Business Association, and the Warren Township Historical Society, as resident decorator for the Mother Rudd House. I didn't know that was your title, resident decorator. How about that? In addition to the previously mentioned contributions, since taking office on May 7, 2001, Jeannie Balmas has faithfully served the Village of Gurnee as a village trustee, demonstrating steadfast commitment, integrity, and leadership throughout her tenure. As I read this, I don't know that I can remember Jeannie missing a meeting. I'm sure you have, but I can't remember many. Jeannie was elected 6 times, securing the highest number of votes among the candidates in 5 out of 6 elections, not because of aggressive campaigning. She, in fact, usually refused to put signs out, but because of the relationships she built over the years and her unwavering principled dedication to the village. During her years of service, Jeannie has worked diligently to promote responsible governance, support businesses large and small, and enhance the quality of life for all residents of Gurnee. She was also entrusted to represent the village on the Central Lake County Joint Action Water Agency Board of Directors, where she's made critical decisions related to Gurnee's water supply. Jeannie has always recognized the contributions and challenges public sector employees face. She's always been a strong supporter of staff, with a special place in her heart for the Public Works Department, which has not gone unnoticed or unappreciated by the employees of the village. Therefore, be it proclaimed that we hereby recognize and honor Jeannie Balmas for her outstanding service as a village trustee and extend our deepest appreciation for dedication in the Village of Gurnee and its residents. Further proclaim that we wish her continued success, good health, and happiness in all of her future endeavors. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Trustee O'Brien, second by Trustee Garner. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Just lead me.
Can you tell I'm a crier or what?
Give her that note.
I will just say, I love the Village of Gurnee, and it has been an honor and a privilege to get to be in this role, and I can't tell you how grateful I am. Sorry. And if you'd let me, I'd stay on. But there's this rule about being a resident, so.
It's all well-deserved, Jeannie, so thanks again. On to reports. Presentation by Finance Director Brian Gosnell, Annual Comprehensive Financial Report for the period ending April 30th, 2025.
Yep, so Brian's going to walk us through the most recent audit, and then actually Brian Nelson, our IS Director, is going to jump up and add a little bit of information as well as far as what we've been doing from an IS perspective that was kind of brought up by the auditors. So.
All right, thank you, Pat. Included in the material was the annual comprehensive financial report, commonly referred to as the audit, for the period ended April 30th, 2025. Village's auditors are Lauterbach and Amon. They're one of a few really audit firms that really have a presence in the municipal government auditing space. Been our auditors for a while. We did bring on a whole new audit team in fiscal year 22. We'll do that again after the fiscal year 26 audit every 5 years. as long as we're with them. It's really a 6-month process. It starts in May and ends sometime November, December, typically, with the presentation to the board. This year, we did have some delays. Obviously, I was out for a period of time during the summer, and we also had some, not disagreement, but we weren't sure if we needed a full GASB 75 OPEB evaluation again. And finally, it was determined that we did, so that delayed us another month. But nevertheless, we are here and presenting the audit to you tonight. The document includes several sections. We'll walk through each one of them. I'll hit the financial highlights along the way, or just the important figures along the way. And then, as Pat said, we'll talk about the management letter, and Ryan will come up and talk about some IT-related items in there. First section is the introductory section. This just has principal officials list, org chart, transmittal letter, which is a staff-prepared overview of the statements and kind of the financial environment, and then the GFOA Certificate of Achievement Award. Next section is the independent auditor's report. We did receive a clean opinion again this year, meaning that the auditors find the information that we gave them that they audited free of material misstatement. This also outlines the responsibilities of management, which is to provide them with accurate information, and also outlines their responsibility, which is to perform the audit and obtain a reasonable measure of assurance that the information is free of material misstatement. Next section is the management discussion analysis. This is, again, prepared by staff. It's kind of a high-level, plain language overview of the audited financial statements, talks about how to read them, what's in them, has some budget highlights and some debt and economic factor information in there as well. We finally get into the numbers in the basic financial statements, page 32. The first set of statements is the government-wide statements. These were intended to be more of a traditional kind of corporate financial statement to measure up with that, so it includes long-term liabilities like net pension liability, the OPEB, capital assets, things like that. Statement of net position is kind of the balance sheet. Statement of activities is really the income statement side of it, broken down by function, so it breaks things down by general government, public safety, highways and streets, and business type. The business types are like water, sewer, golf course fund. So the one number here really that is relevant is the village's net position, so our overall kind of value increased $9 million to $172.4 million. So, but again, these statements are entity-wide. More traditional financial statements is the fund financial statements, they call them. These come with a balance sheet and a statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in fund balance. Have more of a near-term focus, so don't include the value of streets and water mains and things like that. They do break down the fund balance, so this is where we see where we get that fund balance number from when we talk about fund balance in the general fund. Here, just a couple of financial highlights. The unassigned fund balance in the general fund, $33.5 million. That includes the health insurance fund. So during budget, we talked about health insurance fund and that economic development fund kind of being sub-funds of the general fund. These statements include all of them. General fund revenue exceeded expenditures by $2.4 million. That was after a $4 million transfer for capital. And then the water and sewer fund cash balance was $7.6 million, or 68% of revenue. A couple of things that we talked about during budget. In the notes of the financial statements, this is really kind of the background detail behind all the numbers, particularly in note 3, has a ton of information. Deposits and investments, interfund transfers, leases receivable, like cell towers, things like that. Capital assets, long-term debt. Also some information on joint ventures, risk management, retirement systems, OPEB, changes and all that kind of stuff. Required supplementary information section here. Here you get a nice 10-year view of pension funds. Just point out the village overfunded our police pension obligation last year by $822,000 and fire by $586,000. And the funded ratios for IMRF, police and fire, IMRF 92.5 by 4, police just over 80 and fire almost 82, so very well-funded pension system. It also includes changes in the net pension liability in OPEB and then budget to actual statements throughout for each fund. Combining statement here, so this is one that was new last year. This shows the general fund, the health insurance fund, and the economic development fund split out. So here's where we can see them individually. The first set of statements, they were combined. That's important when we go through budget. Also, some budgetary comparison schedules in here for the general fund and all the other funds included in these schedules. Finally, statistical section here. This has 10-year trend, financial activity, revenue, so it talks a little bit about EAV, even though we don't levy a property tax, and then sales tax, also debt capacity, so outstanding debt and what our debt borrowing limit is, and then some demographic and operating information. Finally, also included in the packet was the management letter. This is really the auditor's kind of notes to the board of what we found, that recommendations, that things that we can do better, or something that they found. A couple recommendations only. Current one was IT security awareness and emerging risks. So they talk about what they're seeing in the industry. Ryan will talk about our responses to that. They noted that the ETSB fund was over budget. No surprise, we were draining it down or drawing it down before the consolidation. And then a prior recommendation that was on there last year as well was the commingled cash balance. This pertains to the MFT fund. That is rectified earlier this year. We closed that fund, so we won't see that one come up again. They also had 3 new GASB pronouncements that they're going to talk about next year related to risk disclosures, the reporting model, and capital assets. So more information to come on those next year. With that, I'll ask Ryan to address the IT portion of it, and then I will take questions after.
Thanks, Brian. So when Brian asked me if I wanted to talk about this recommendation list included in the report, I agreed right away. This is a good list. It highlights things that we interact with in information systems on a daily basis. And for a long time in local government, the FBI criminal justice information security policy was one of our leading functional policy drivers. But as cybersecurity incidents increased in nature, we've seen this uptick in support in other areas. It was 5 years ago or so that the insurance pool really took a serious approach. So I'm happy to see another professional body adopt this pro-security stance. The sheet has both comments and recommendations on it. I'm kind of going to address them by topic since they're complementary. A statistic I had found from last year was that 90% of cybersecurity attacks start with phishing. In our own environment, February, March, we saw an aggressive campaign where we received phishing messages spread from compromised email accounts in neighboring local governments. Last I verified, it was 11 different agencies that were affected in some sort of way. And the reason is, phishing is tough. Bad actors stay one step ahead of spam control systems. They're purposefully crafting messages to fool anyone into opening the message and completing an action. And since this final step is a human element, the security awareness training to educate how to approach email is highly effective. Annual training is now required by the state of Illinois. We go beyond that with multiple campaigns every year. And our security awareness training started way back in 2017. We frequently receive comments from employees on how it has helped them at work, but also in their own or personal computing, something we think is an indicator of success. Regarding multi-factor authentication, we know that this is not designed to make logging into applications and services easier, right? We've all seen it, get a code from a text message, an email, an app, and it's used during the login process. This combination of something we know, like our password, and then something else that we have to complete the login process helps verify that access should be granted. MFA is baked into everything new that we do, but we've also taken an approach to leverage a concept called single sign-on wherever we can. This brings the management of the usernames and passwords, the multi-factor authentication, and application permissions all into one central management point. Password criteria such as length and change requirements, they're managed in one place, and access can be granted, revoked, verified, and audited through one process. With both MFA and this SSO concept, we are meeting and exceeding this recommendation. Vendors and third-party services both bring different monitoring challenges. Vendors working inside of our systems don't always take our approach to environment security, so we typically work very closely with them to understand the specifics of the implementation, such as account creation, application rights, and even third-party tools that are used as part of the implementation. In cloud services, we believe it is important to understand what is used in the environment so that we ensure that there's some sort of review or oversight. For free services where we don't have a business relationship, it is common that those terms of service change without notice, and that affects how data processing is, or data is processed and retained. And if terms of service change, that's then a risk. So we do complete security reviews for proposed vendors. We really like it when the vendors have worked hard and received government-specific standard accreditations. FedRAMP originated as a way to show meeting federal government information security standards. And similarly, there was also GovRAMP, which is geared towards state and local governments. The recent approval of NeoGov human resource software is a great point-in-time example of an application that went through our process. We achieved SSO, and the application meets GovRAMP security standards. So even outside of GovRAMP and FedRAMP and some of those fancy names, there's other third-party ratings, ISO, and other things we look at when we do these security reviews for vendors. There is an acknowledgement in the report that local government is often a target, and sometimes staffing isn't where it needs to be, limiting the view of what's going on. I think we're in a good spot with staffing, and that's particularly augmented by our managed security services provider that provides that around-the-clock monitoring, direct advice on our environment. They're the security specialists. They point us to what needs some more attention, and this helps address the trends and monitoring concerns that were in the memo. Staff also subscribe to the federal government cybersecurity agency alerts and other relevant security news feeds. And then from a backup perspective, we take up backups very seriously. On-prem systems are backed up following the 3-2-1 rule. That's where there's 3 copies of the data, 2 different types of backups, and one of them is stored off-site from the system that is backed up. For cloud services, highly variable depending on the service, but we review what those cloud service practices are, and in some cases apply 3-2-1 if we can. An example of this is our Microsoft 365 environment, where we do not simply rely on Microsoft to keep the data secure, and we play an active role. And of course, backups aren't backups unless they restore, right? It's just work. So we do recovery testing, and we also have tools to automate that backup verification. But all this is really a long way to say that the auditor's list is complementary to our process. Nothing in there was a surprise, and it does take both human and financial effort to achieve the suggestions in the report. So I have to thank the board, department heads, village staff, information staff, because without all of that support, this type of list would not be achievable. Happy to move on to the questions part or hand it back to Brian.
Happy to take any questions.
All right, so to my right, Trustee O'Brien.
Actually, the security side of it. So if staff is using AI, such as ChatGPT, Copilot, whatever, does that open up additional risk?
Yeah, it can, 100%. That's one of it's a great example, rather, of a third-party service that's available for free that we need to monitor what the content is put into.
And is there a program that helps you do that?
Well, one of the ways to do that is actually to purchase the service, right? So if we select something like ChatGPT, we would create that business relationship with them, buy the service, then you have the teeth of a software agreement with them, and then you have some residency control of the data.
Thank you.
But that is just a great example of any of those sort of free cloud services.
Thanks.
Trustee Thorson.
So you talk about phishing being a key risk, and I was just wondering, at my company, we use certain associations that, or groups that challenge us with in providing the most recent types of examples of what is out there.
Yeah.
Do we have an association that we work with here?
As part of our security awareness training, they do email test campaigns on an ongoing basis. Those actually run back to back throughout the year. Those have been going on since 2017, and they change the content of those based on what is popular at the time.
Okay, thanks.
We actually have a pretty good success rate there. I'm pretty proud of staff.
Trustee Ross.
This one's for Brian. When they questioned the commingling, and they did that last year too, were they satisfied with your answer when you explained?
Yeah, it's just a matter of the motor fuel tax receipts were going into one bank account, and we were paying checks out of the other bank, the commingled bank account, and just getting the state to stop depositing in one and putting it in the other. So we finally got that taken care of, and
Okay.
that'll take care of it.
Trustee Thorson.
I have another question for Brian. Were we going to do those now, too?
Sure.
I just, real brief, Brian, so we created that new category or discussion point last year. Is that replaced with highlights this year?
You mean like what's new? Oh, that was just for the budget document. I didn't do one of those
It's not carried, okay,
for the audit, no.
thanks.
Mela? Questions? Nope. Thank you. On to old business. Is none. On to new business. Item number 1. Well, actually, sorry, I'm skipping over. Sorry, Matt. You put all this effort into doing this, I know, tonight, and I was going to skip right over you, so. All right, so a presentation by Community Engagement Coordinator Matt Trujillo, proposed Gurnee Cares grant recipients. Matt.
Yeah, I can give some quick background. So CARES Commission was formed by Mayor Hood last year with the board appointing commission members in July. Trustee Woodside serves as the chair. It was designed to actively promote community engagement within Gurnee by forging meaningful connection between residents and local organizations, not-for-profits, and essential resources such as food banks, education programs, and health services. As the commission got together and met and looked at their purpose and making those connections, supporting those organizations, they came up with a grant program. So we included $250,000 in the FY 25-26 budget. Also, Village Board approved $250,000 in the upcoming budget, which starts on May 1. So developed a grant application, posted that on the website. They accepted letters of intent, went through those, invited a certain number of those to submit a formal application, and then reviewed those. So had a lot of applications, narrowed it down to 10 recommended grant awards for this go-around. So Matt's going to run through those for us tonight.
Thank you, Pat. Good evening, Mayor, Village Board. Today we'll be presenting on the Gurnee Cares Grant Program. Recognizing a growing need for community support as shown by data from United Way of Lake County's 211 program, Mayor Hood created the Gurnee Cares Commission. Gurnee is consistently among the top 5 communities for 211 resident requests. The Village Board appointed commission members on July 21st, 2025, with Trustee Woodside as chair. The initiative encourages community engagement by connecting residents with local organizations, nonprofits, and essential resources such as food banks, education programs, and health services. The Commission's goal is to strengthen Gurnee's support network and expand resources and opportunities for all individuals and families in the village. Here are the Gurnee Cares Commission members. To support this effort, the village allocated $250,000 in the fiscal year 25-26 budget and another $250,000 in the upcoming budget cycle. The commission introduced a grant program for nonprofits and community organizations serving Gurnee residents, aiming to expand outreach, meet urgent needs, and test new initiatives. Nonprofits applied for up to $30,000 to fund projects in key areas such as food security, utility or financial aid, housing and homelessness prevention, mental health and substance use, transportation, senior support, and child and family support. Grantees may receive up to 25% of their award in advance, with the rest provided monthly as reimbursements. All grant funds must be used within 12 months of the award date. The Gurnee Cares Commission received 36 applications for its first grant cycle, which will award grants up to $30,000, as I mentioned, per nonprofit for programs benefiting Gurnee residents. The committee reviewed letters of intent from each organization to determine which would advance to the next round. They then selected applicants to complete a full application. The commission reviewed the grants in the winter and selected 10 grant requests totaling $248,000 to recommend to the village board tonight. Now I'm going to give a brief overview of the grants. The first is the Mother's Trust Foundation, which has spent 28 years providing immediate emergency assistance to children in crisis across Lake County. Their proposed grant program seeks $30,000 to provide direct aid to approximately 150 Gurnee children and youth. This initiative is designed to eliminate red tape, addressing urgent unmet needs like housing instability and lack of necessities that impact a child's safety and academic success. The organization has a volunteer committee that reviews requests weekly, often distributing funds within just 48 hours. This grant will go toward direct assistance as all administrative costs are covered by a separate budget. The funds are strategically allocated with 30% for clothing and shoes, 25% for extracurricular and summer camp programs, and the remainder dedicated to housing, utility assistance, and safe baby gear. This ensures that Gurnee's most vulnerable children receive the stability and hope they need to thrive. Prairie State Legal Services is a nonprofit law firm that has defended the civil legal rights of vulnerable populations for over 45 years. Their project is targeted $30,000 initiative to help Gurnee residents with housing-related issues. The program provides essential legal advice, document preparation, and court representation for approximately 20 Gurnee residents facing eviction, foreclosure, or public housing challenges. The grant program will support over 380 billable attorney hours. The grant is allocated entirely to personnel costs, specifically for staff attorney salaries in the Waukegan office. While the grant covers the expertise needed to navigate complex legal systems, the firm separately covers case-related expenses like filing fees, ensuring that no resident is denied justice because of an inability to pay. The Warren Township High School Blue Devils Pantry is a school-based organization dedicated to fighting food insecurity for students and families within Warren Township High School and its feeder schools. Their expansion project is a 12-month initiative seeking $15,000 to increase the pantry's capacity and reach. The funding will support an expansion of distribution hours into non-traditional times, such as weekends and holidays, to better serve working families. Because the pantry is managed entirely by volunteers, every dollar of this grant is dedicated to materials and equipment. 40% of the budget will go toward shelving and storage units, while the rest will fund shelf-stable food, hygiene products, clothing, multilingual signage to improve accessibility. By providing these essential household supplies, the pantry ensures the local students can focus on their education rather than where their next meal is coming from. A Safe Place, legally known as the Lake County Crisis Center for the Prevention and Treatment of Domestic Violence Incorporated, has been a cornerstone of support for victims of domestic violence and human trafficking in Lake County since 1978. Their $30,000 emergency hotel shelter program addresses a critical gap in service where congregate shelters are at capacity. This program utilizes secure local hotels to provide up to 90 days of emergency housing. The program aims to serve approximately 10 Gurnee families, offering them a safe haven alongside trauma-informed wraparound services like safety planning and food assistance. The budget is focused entirely on direct client support, with 80% dedicated to hotel costs and the remainder for emergency food and transportation vouchers. The primary goal is ensuring that 90% of participants in this program do not return to their abusers, providing them with the resources and safety necessary to begin a new independent life. The next one is Erie Family Health Center, which is a large-scale healthcare provider that serves over 95,000 patients across the Chicagoland area, including a significant number of residents in Lake County through its Health Reach Waukegan location. The proposed Patient Support Fund project is an initiative seeking $23,207 to address the immediate health-related social needs of approximately 503 Gurnee residents. This program functions as a critical bridge for patients whose essential needs are not covered by insurance or public benefits, specifically targeting those at the Erie Health Reach Waukegan Center by providing direct assistance for emergency supplies, durable medical equipment, and transportation to appointments. The project aims to stabilize patients' lives outside of the clinic so they can achieve better health outcomes such as improved management of chronic conditions like hypertension. The requested grant is split between personnel and direct patient resources, with $10,000 allocated to staff for the coordinator and care coordination team lead who manage the fund and connect patients to services. The remaining $13,000 is dedicated to non-personnel costs, which breaks down to $5,000 for about 200 individual Uber health rides to ensure patients can reach their medical appointments, about $5,000 to purchase 83 at-home blood pressure monitors for patients with diagnosed hypertension, and then about $3,000 for Walmart gift cards to provide emergency access to food, diapers, and hygiene products. Keeping Family Covered is a nonprofit dedicated to providing essential hygiene products that promote health and dignity. Their $20,000 initiative focuses on expanding services for approximately 2,240 Gurnee residents through a mobile pantry model in partnership with the Warren Newport Public Library. They host monthly distributions where families can access diapers, feminine hygiene products, and incontinence products, items that are often not covered by traditional assistance programs. Nearly all the grant is dedicated to direct material aid, with nearly $16,000 allocated for baby diapers and training pants alone. A very small portion covers operational necessities like delivery van gas and minimal staffing. This program aims to remove the financial barriers to basic hygiene for Gurnee residents. Big Brothers Big Sisters of Metropolitan Chicago is renowned for its professionally supported one-to-one mentoring relationships. Their $25,000 program seeks to expand the site-based mentoring program, specifically at the Warren Township Teen Center for Gurnee Youth. The program matches participants aged 7 and up with trained adult mentors for bi-weekly sessions that combine one-to-one time with group activities. These relationships are designed to build social skills, strengthen emotional well-being, and promote educational success. The grant supports the Lake County Regional Director and Site Program Facilitator who manage the background screenings and coaching required for safe, high-quality mentoring. With 57% of the budget covering staff and 13% for enrichment activities like field trips, and about 19.7% for office rent / overhead for the program that aims to serve about 20 youth, fostering long-term community connections and helping young people realize their full potential. The CYN Counseling Center has been providing comprehensive mental health and crisis intervention services in Lake County since 1978. Their $25,000 mental health expansion project is a 12-month initiative specifically designed to increase on-site therapeutic support for Gurnee youth. During the school year, they will provide a dedicated therapist 1 day per week at Warren Township High School, where they currently serve. In the summer, they will partner with the Boys and Girls Club at Viking Middle School to provide 3 days of therapy per week for 10 weeks. The grant is almost entirely focused on personnel, covering the salaries of licensed therapists to serve approximately 140 youth. By bringing therapy directly to where students are, CYN removes barriers like the cost and transportation, ensuring that children and adolescents facing anxiety, depression, or trauma receive the early intervention they need. NACASA Behavioral Health Services has been empowering healthy lifestyles since 1966 through comprehensive substance abuse and mental health treatment. Their $25,000 co-occurring treatment program is a specialized initiative targeting 70 Gurnee residents who struggle with multiple simultaneous challenges such as substance use and problem gambling. This program offers extended treatment episodes to address root causes through clinical assessments and individualized counseling. The grant is used exclusively to fund a half-time co-occurring counselor who manages direct client care and support groups. No portion of the funds is diverted to fringe benefits or administrative overhead. The goal is long-term stability, with a target of 70% of clients successfully completing their treatment goals. By providing integrated expert care, NACASA helps residents break the cycle of addiction and regain control of their lives. And the last one that I have for you all is Youth and Family Counseling, which opened a dedicated Gurnee location in 2022 to fill a critical gap in mental health services for low-income and Medicaid-enrolled residents. Their $25,000 Gurnee Mental Health Access Project aims to sustain and expand therapy for 75 residents facing challenges like trauma and suicidal ideation. The unique aspect of this grant is that it bridges the subsidy gap, which is the difference between the $175 cost of a therapy session and the $122 cost typically reimbursed by insurance. This funding will cover approximately 566 sessions, effectively providing 10 fully subsidized sessions per week. This ensures the agency can continue to accept Medicaid and offer a sliding scale of fees, meaning no resident is ever turned away due to an inability to pay. Their goal is measurable success, aiming for symptom improvement in 75% of their clients through culturally responsive bilingual care. On behalf of the Village of Gurnee Cares Commission, staff recommends awarding the Gurnee Cares grants to the following organizations: Mother's Trust Foundation at $30,000, Prairie State Legal Services at $30,000, Warren Township High School Blue Devils Pantry at $15,000, A Safe Place at $30,000, Keeping Families Covered at $20,000, Erie Family Health Center at $23,207, Big Brothers Big Sisters of Metropolitan Chicago at $25,000, CYN Counseling Center at $25,000, NACASA Behavioral Health Services at $25,000, and then Youth and Family Counseling at $25,000, with a total of $248,207 for the full program. Thank you for your time and consideration of these applications. Myself or the chairperson, Trustee Woodside, would be happy to address any questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Matt. We're just going on to new business. Item number 1, approval of ordinance 2026-25, authorizing execution of a Gurnee Cares grant agreement with Mother's Trust Foundation. Is there a motion?
So move.
Motion by Trustee Garner,
Second.
second by Trustee Thorstensen. Any questions or comments?
Is there, I have overall questions.
Okay,
When did you want to ask me to ask those?
you can ask him right now.
Okay. Try and keep it concise and brief. Can a organization reapply annually?
Yeah, we're in the first year at this point. We are looking at that, but most likely if they've completed their project, we'll be considering them again.
Okay, because you had 36 applicants and 10 awardees?
Yes, yeah, we received a lot this year.
Yeah, I would say to that, Karen, just, that's the work that the commission's going to need to do this year, is to evaluate how well the 10 that were selected are performing, and fund them at the same level would exhaust the budget. So if they're performing at the same level and want to continue to invest in those groups, then that would be the plan, but holding onto that loosely to see what's approved and how they perform in grants.
Okay, thanks. Also, Pat, I thought we talked about this, or maybe it was Tom. What is the annual amount that Gurnee gives to 211?
5,000, I believe, is the current.
5,000? And so, I understand the difference between their organization and ours, but, or, and the purpose here, but are we gonna continue in that? And does that go in a, with that $5,000 allotment to 211 that is, and does that go in the same line item in our budget as these would?
No, so we plan on doing that annually. It does not go in this line item. So CARES has its own line item, so we can track that separately.
Okay. Now, I was gonna ask a question, which was, do other municipalities give money to charities? But I've decided I don't care for that answer. So what I thought subsequently is, wouldn't Gurnee want to be known for leading with compassion and humanity and helping some charities that have reached out to help our residents that are most vulnerable in the ways described here? So that's my new opinion. And then lastly, I personally volunteered for 2 of these organizations already, and I don't know if there's a process, Kevin, that you can bring forward as to would they want more volunteers? That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Thorson. Trustee O'Brien.
That was a lot of work on the committee's behalf, a lot of very worthy recipients, and I'm really happy that all of the applications were very Gurnee specific. They even said Village of Gurnee, this or that. Just 2 observations. Half of the recipients are going to be using the money for salaries and benefits, and of these 10, it represents $8 million worth of a budget. So our $250,000 is going to be supplementing salaries and wages for $8 million budget. But it's just an observation as I was reading these. I admire the work that was done on this. I admire all the recipients. I think it is amazing what need is out there. I just want to point that out, though.
Well, to address that, that was an important consideration. What is the impact that was going to be in Gurnee? And administrative costs was something that was not looked at as a stellar criteria. But in the cases where this is covering expenses, it's counselors, it's legal services, it is the time of those employees often that is specifically the service that's being provided.
Thanks, Kevin.
Roll call, please.
Balmas.
Abstain.
Abstain. Torstenson.
Yes.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
It's 5 aye, 1 abstain.
Motion carries on to item 2, approval of ordinance 2026,
26th.
authorizing execution of a Gurnee Cares grant agreement with Prairie State Legal Services. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Garner, second by trustee Thorstenson. Any comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Balmas.
Abstain.
Torstenson.
Aye.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
1 abstain. 5 aye.
Motion carries. Item 3, approval of ordinance 2026,
27.
authorizing execution of Gurnee Cares grant agreement with Warren Township High School, doing business as Blue Devils Pantry. Is there a motion?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Motion by trustee Ross, second by trustee O'Brien. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Thomas.
Abstain.
Thorstenson.
Aye.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
One abstain. 5 aye.
Item 4, approval of ordinance 2026.
28.
Authorizing execution of a Gurnee Cares Grant Agreement with Lake County Crisis Center for the Prevention and Treatment of Domestic Violence, Inc., doing business as a safe place. Is there a motion?
So move.
Motion by trustee Garner,
Second.
second by trustee Thorstenson. Any comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Thomas.
Abstain.
Thorstenson.
Aye.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
One abstain. 5 aye.
Motion carries. Item 5, approval of ordinance 2026.
29.
Authorizing execution of a Gurnee Cares Grant Agreement with Erie Family Health Center, Inc. Is there a motion?
So move.
Motion by trustee Garner,
Second.
second by trustee Thorstenson. Any comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Thomas.
Abstain.
Thorstenson.
Aye.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
One abstain. 5 aye.
On to item 6, motion carries. Item 6, approval of ordinance 2026.
30.
Authorizing execution of a Gurnee Cares Grant Agreement with Keeping Families Covered. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Ross, second by trustee O'Brien. Any comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Thomas.
Abstain.
Thorstenson.
Aye.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
One abstain. 5 aye.
Motion carries. Item 7, approval of ordinance 2026,
31.
authorizing execution of a Gurnee Cares Grant Agreement with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Metropolitan Chicago. Is there a motion?
So move.
Motion by trustee Garner,
Second.
second by trustee Ross. Any comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Thomas.
Abstain.
Thorstenson.
Aye.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
One abstain. 5 aye.
On to approval of item 8, approval of ordinance 2026.
32.
Authorizing execution of a Gurnee Cares Grant Agreement with Community Youth Network doing business as CYN Counseling Center. Is there a motion?
So move.
Motion by trustee Garner,
Second.
second by trustee Thorstenson. Any comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Thomas.
Abstain.
Thorstenson.
Aye.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
One abstain. 5 aye.
Motion carries. Item 9, approval of ordinance 2026,
33.
authorizing execution of a Gurnee Cares Grant Agreement with NICASA NFP doing business as NICASA Behavioral Health Services. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Garner, second by trustee Thorstenson. Oh, sorry, trustee Ross. Any comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Thomas.
Abstain.
Thorstenson.
Aye.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
One abstain. 5 aye.
Motion carries. Item 10, approval of ordinance 2026,
34.
authorizing execution of a Gurnee Cares Grant Agreement with Youth and Family Counseling. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Garner,
Second.
second by trustee Thorstenson. Any comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Thomas.
Abstain.
Thorstenson.
Aye.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
One abstain. 5 aye.
I just want to take a moment and just thank you, trustee Woodside, for your leadership in this. Matt also for your leadership in this as well. I just think this is a critical time for our village, and even though many have not done this, that should not be the reason why we don't do this. And it's true, some would describe this as being outside our lane, but to me, the residents of Gurnee are our lane. And if their needs are something we can meet, then that's what we should do. And I appreciate the board members that are here today, and if the members of the board have come today, if you'd like to stand, just so we can recognize you. All right. Thank you for your hard work. I know that you've taken this very seriously in your interviewing process where you interviewed these not-profits, and many of you have experience in terms of what a good not-profit is and one that may be not so good, and to ferret that out to make sure that we pick the very best 10 especially for our inaugural start for the Village of Gurnee. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I think this is a great start. I look for many more years of doing just this, that we can say to our residents that we look out for them, and I think that sometimes just saying it with our mouth isn't good enough, that we need to say it with our dollars. So thank you. On to item 11. Approval of ordinance 2026, amending the intergovernmental agreement establishing the Solid Waste Agency of Lake County, Illinois.
Sure. So SWACO was having some issues finding board members because the intergovernmental agreement that established the agency said that to serve on the board, they had to be a full-time employee in an executive level position. So you had some organizations that were having a hard time finding that person and found some, either an elected official or perhaps someone that wasn't in an executive level position that was interested in serving on the board. So they'd like to make that change to give a little more flexibility in that. Can be a full-time or part-time employee of the member community. Second change was that they didn't have a secretary or treasurer for the agency appointed, so SWAC was recommending that the chairman just hold those titles. The third was the process that the chair of SWACO is a permanent voting member of the executive committee. So SWACO has an executive committee and then they have the full board. The full board chair isn't currently on the executive committee, so to make that change, to put that person on that committee, so regularly shows up to the meetings but isn't a voting member of the committee. And then the last one was just when, in the past, when we would make an amendment to the intergovernmental agreement, it would have to be approved by all communities within 90 days. Some communities, Walter just has a hard time having them get on an agenda within 90 days for some reason. So looking to pull that back to 2/3 of the members must approve within 90 days. So again, changes that just address some challenges that SWACO's faced in the past. Still, I think they're reasonable, protect the integrity of the decision-making process at the agency. Just as a reminder, I serve on the executive committee. Austin sits on the full board for the village. So, you know, we're actively involved in the organization, pay attention to what they have going on, and feel that these are reasonable and logical changes to the intergovernmental agreement. So.
And is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Thorstensen, second by trustee Ross. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Balmas.
Aye.
Thorstensen.
Aye.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
6 ayes.
Motion carries. Item 12, approval of Public Works Department request to waive formal bidding process and award the trimming of approximately 1,085 parkway trees greater than 10 inches in diameter to M. Diaz Tree Services at a total cost of $135,000. Pat?
Sure. So about 14,000 parkway trees that Public Works is responsible for. Public Works trims all the trees 10 inches in diameter and below. We typically contract down for the large trees above that 10 inches. Partnered up with M. Diaz a couple years ago. The contractor that we were using, unfortunately, the owner passed away in November of 24. M. Diaz took that contract over, trimmed the rest of those trees, did a decent job for us. We also went out for some bids at that time. They were the lowest bidder, so again, it worked out nice. Re-awarded it to them last year. They continue to do a good job for the Public Works Department, understand our expectations, haven't had complaints from the community on the quality of work that they're doing. So for this upcoming year, Public Works is once again recommending to award it out to M. Diaz. Their prices increase between 3.2 and 4.2% depending on the tree diameter. Talked to Heather up at Public Works. After this year of trimming, if this is approved, we'll go back out and solicit proposals again from a couple different tree services in the area to make sure that the pricing is in line. We feel good about where it's at. The focus for this year's trimming program will be Providence Oaks, Country Trails, Big Oaks, Boulders, Riverside Heights, Prairie Oaks, Orchard Valley Estates, and Crescent Meadows. So again, MDS would do those bigger trees. Public Works crews would handle the smaller trees.
All right. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by trustee O'Brien, second by trustee Balmas. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Balmas.
Aye.
Thorstensen.
Aye.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
6 ayes.
Motion carries. Item 13, approval of request from Information Systems to renew the CDW Arctic Wolf Managed Detection response and managed risk services contract. Mouthful, Ryan. For a period of 3 years with an annual 3% escalator for total fiscal year 2027 to 2029, the cost of $398,144.98. Okay.
Sure. So March of '22, we partnered up with Arctic Wolf at the recommendation of the IS Department to basically evaluate all of our traffic coming in, identifying any risks that they see, any weaknesses in our system that need improvement, as Ryan talked about earlier. Just the comments made by the auditors from a financial standpoint as far as what we need to be looking at, kind of view Arctic Wolf kind of as the IS cybersecurity auditor. So I mean, they keep track of what we've got going on. If they see something that needs some improvement, they work with Ryan and his team to get that implemented. So been doing year-to-year contracts with them. Typically see about a 6% increase. So when this upcoming contract was coming up for expiration, Ryan reached out to them. They came back with a 1 year at a 10% increase. Ryan didn't like that, so he entered into negotiations with them and ended up with a 3-year term paid annually with 3% increase each year. So again, super helpful to Ryan and his team. Ryan mentioned insurance. I mean, this is something they look for when we're out in the market trying to secure cyber security insurance, that you've got all this stuff in place. So, I mean, they bring to the table, you know, the knowledge much greater than nothing against Ryan and his team, but I mean, they're looking at this from a national, global perspective, so they stay on top of that. So Ryan's been very happy with the service. Knock on wood, we haven't had any issues, so looking to continue the relationship forward with Arctic Wolf for the next 3 years.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
By trustee Balmas, second by trustee O'Brien. Any comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Almas.
Aye.
Thorstenson.
Aye.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Motion carries. On to public comment. Anybody that would like to step to the microphone and make a comment about an item, whether it's on the agenda or not, you may step to the microphone and state your name. There being none, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Balmas. We're just gonna hang on this for a little bit. You ready? Are you ready to adjourn? Apparently, you made the motion. Trustee Garner is a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.